Hi, Marilyn here from NCBI Children and Young Persons team. Today's presentation is on communication skills with a focus on story time with your child. We're going to talk about different book types and how to develop a good book sense with your child. We're going to look at how to develop story boxes or story bags and give you some information on BorrowBox, which is a digital library. A short video on book types and developing a book sense.
Hi, so I'm going to talk about story time with your child. So storytelling and listening to stories is a really important part of a child's development. It helps to develop communication skills, helps to develop a book sense, and can also help with concept development. So children with low vision can experience story time tactily and develop a better book sense through tactile experiences. So why would you choose one book over another? So some children find it easier to see black and white images, so you might choose a book like this, which has got simple black and white images on it, and that might be easier for your child to see. Other children might find it really hard, might have issues with complexity, so books that have got a lot going on might be harder for your child to see. So you might choose books that have block colour, or one image per page. And what I also really like about these books is that they're solid, so the pages will be easier for your child to turn. So you want to get your child to interact as much as they can with storytelling. So books that have little windows that pop are really nice, because your child can interact and feel around the page while you're telling the story. Again, this one has solid pages, so it's easier to turn. And then these are really nice books. They're touchy-feely books, so each page would have a different textures on it, so that your child can feel their way through the story. So that's not my monkey. So really simple images, short text, and it says here like his tail is too velvet, and then your child can feel the velvet texture on the book, and so on as you go through the book. He's soft feet. So these are really good for getting your child engaged in story time. And concept development and building a good book sense. So when you're sitting down at story time with your child, it's really good, I suppose, to let them explore the book, or encourage them to explore the book. So get them to feel around the edge, describe the edge, describe the front, the back of the book, maybe talk about the size of the book. So this is a small book, this is a big book. So you're describing the book, which is also going to build concept developments for the child: big, small, soft, hard. And then as you're telling the story, you could get them to feel the tail in the middle of the page, or get them to feel the top of the page, the bottom of the page. So you're getting your child, I suppose, to develop a book sense by really describing all the different characteristics of the book. And you can give your child lots of different books, lots of different shapes and sizes, and let them play, let them explore, let them turn the pages, let them feel through the different types of books that you have and the different sizes before story time.
A short video on developing story boxes and story bags for story time with your child.
Story boxes or story bags are simply a collection of items in a bag or a box that correspond with items that are in a story. Story boxes are a great way for children with vision impairment to experience stories, and it's fun and interactive, and something both yourself and your child should really enjoy. So I'm going to give you an example of a story box that I use, and I'm going to talk about the 3 steps to developing a story box. Step 1 is to choose your story. Step 2 is to build your story box, and step 3 is telling the story. So I have a story bag it's an old school bag, and I keep a book and all of the items in the bag that correspond with that storybook. So today I also have you could keep your book and the items in a box, or you could put them into shoe boxes if you wanted to make up a library and have more than one book, or one story box or story bag. And you could also put tactile, so if you're using shoe boxes, you could put a tactile representation of the story on the front. So an example that we've given is if for Goldilocks and the Three Bears, you could have 3 patches of fur and you could just glue them onto the outside of the box, and then the child would learn that that box holds the story items for Goldilocks and the Three Bears. So the storybook that I have is called Stop That Cow, and I like this book because it has lots of concepts in it, like up, down, fast, slow, near, far, high, low. So it has lots of concepts in it, and it's a fun story. So when you choose your story, you need to consider your child's attention span. So it might be best to have just 1 or 2 items to go with the story, and then you can add more as the child gets familiar with the story, or you could start with as many items as you want, depending on how many you think the child would be able to work with. So for this story, for example, we have a cow. This is my cow. And we have a car, because the cow goes on adventures in the car, and he goes up, down, far, near, in, out. He goes in all different directions. So, and he also sits in the car, so you can actually put the cow into the car. So as you can see, this is a simple example of how you would use objects to represent what's happening in the story. So this is really choosing your story box. Like, you could add more items. He causes a bit of chaos in the traffic, so you could add lots of different cars to your story if your child likes cars. He also has a great imagination and he flies in the story, so you could add a helicopter, or and you could put the cow in there and get him to fly. Your child could do that action. And there's also a farm in the story, so you could use a little figure like this, and your child could explore and feel the arms, the legs of the farmer, and stuff like that. So that might give you that might give you an idea of some of the items that you might have in your story bag or story box. So once you've decided on your story and you've decided what items you want to use, and you've built your story box, then it's about reading the story. So that's the last step really of the story box. And when you're reading the story, what we would recommend is that let your child play with the items in the box on their own. Let them take them in, take them out, really explore them, play with them, so they get familiar with what items are in your story box. And then once they've had some time to do that, you can put them all back into the bag or the box. And then before you start introducing the story and the objects to the child, you would let them feel, say, the first object you're going to present is the cow. So you could let your child hold the cow, explore the cow, talk about the cow, the different features. Is it big? Is it small? It has 4 legs. And let them feel and really explore the object. And then you can start your story. So we would recommend introducing maybe 1 or 2 items at a time. And then when you move on through the story, so for example, you're talking about the cow in the car, and then when you move through the story, you see that he causes a little bit of traffic chaos, so you might then just take away the cow and play with the 2 cars to represent the traffic chaos. And then as you go through the story, so you can be as creative as you like. Like I said, I like this story because it has lots of concepts in it. So up, down, in, out, flying, lots of different things going on. So I really like this book. So I hope that gives you an idea of what a story bag or a story box might be like. So you can have fun creating them. You can go out and go on a shopping spree and buy loads of boxes and get all fancy, or you can just use household items, things that are around the house. And I suppose you don't have to build story boxes or story bags, but they're a good way to have a few stories that your child really likes built up in a library, somewhere in a familiar place where they know where they are, and they might want to tell you that they want story time by going to that library to get a story box and choosing their story. So you can have fun in other ways. I know, like, you could just, if you don't have time to build a story box, you could just use another book that you have in the house, and everybody likes The Very Hungry Caterpillar, so you could take your book, and it has fruit and apples in it, so you could actually, while you're telling the story, you could let your child hold and explore and even taste an apple while you're talking about the caterpillar. And if you want to get really creative, you could find a caterpillar around the house, an old sock, and put him on your hand, and there's your caterpillar. So you can be as creative as you like, and you can put a lot of time into developing your storybox library, or you can just use simple household items and things that are lying around the house to make your story more creative and accessible for your child. So I hope you've got something from this, and if you want more information on story boxes, you will find that on www.paths2literacy.org, and there's going to be a link on this slide also.
BorrowBox is an app that gives access to ebooks and audiobooks free through your library service in 5 quick steps. So the first step is you need to join your local library or be a member of your local library, and they will give you a BorrowBox pin. The second step is to download the BorrowBox app on your device. There's a quick demo on the next slide that shows you how to do that. And step 3, select your library service. Step 4, activate your library membership. And step 5, borrow free ebooks and audiobooks that can be played on your child's iPad or on your phone, and they can listen to audiobooks by themselves or with the family. On this slide, there's a quick demo on how to download the BorrowBox app using an iPhone. If you want help or support in downloading the app, or if you want more information, you can contact us using the contact details on the last slide. So the demo quickly shows an iPhone, and if you click on the App Store in your iPhone, and in the search menu, if you type BorrowBox and search, the BorrowBox app will come up. It has a green logo. And then if you click on the cloud symbol on the right, it will start downloading the app. And once you have downloaded the app, you can open it. And when you open the app, you'll see that you can select library. And then when you select library, another search menu comes up, and you can put in the address of your library. And once you have selected your library, you enter your library code and your BorrowBox code, and you have access to thousands of leisure reading and ebooks and audiobooks, which you can enjoy with your child and the rest of the family. Many thanks for listening. Our Children and Young Persons team are available for further information and support, and can be contacted on our helpline below. You can contact us if you want advice and support on any of the strategies discussed in this PowerPoint, and you can contact us using the helpline, which is 1850 33 43 53, and you can also find more information at www.ncbi.ie.